David Rothkopf, Superclass, the global power elite and the world they are making. Dive into the world of the superclass as David Rothkopf explores the impact of global power elites in his book, Superclass, the global power elite and the world they are making. Discover how the superclass, consisting of only 6,000 individuals worldwide, wields unparalleled power and influence across various sectors, including business, finance, politics, and the military-industrial complex. Learn about the interconnectedness of these elites as they forge global connections that transcend national boundaries, leading to the creation of a distinct community with shared interests and culture. Get a glimpse of the driving forces behind their power, wealth, and global reach, and understand the implications of this concentrated influence on the world economy and governance.
The rise of the superclass. Every year, a group of the world's most influential business leaders, government officials, cultural figures, and media barons meet in Davos for the World Economic Forum. These worldly citizens, a cross-section of the planet's superclass, share a vision extending beyond national boundaries into the global realm. In 1956, Columbia University professor C. Wright Mills identified a group of deciders in American corporations, politics, and military life, people who shaped policies in business, government, and national security. The Treaty of Rome in 1957 marked an evolution in the consolidation of post-war power. The current superclass of global leaders forms a distinct community whose members have more in common with each other than with their co-nationals. As former Citibank CEO Walter Wriston wrote in 1991, information enables a global conversation. The combined net worth of the world's richest 1,000 or so people is almost twice that of the poorest 2.5 billion. Power and inequality. The global elite, or superclass, consisting of only 6,000 people, wields immense power that surpasses that of some nations. Access to these individuals is highly coveted and they form a global community connected by common interests. However, the increasing concentration of power and wealth within this group highlights growing economic inequality around the world. The supremacy of the superclass. The book discusses the global power dynamics of the superclass, a group of wealthy, influential individuals who shape the world's economic, political, and social systems. The superclass accumulates power through money, politics, and globalization. Members fund philanthropies and direct resources towards their own agendas and interests, supplementing national sovereignty with their own influence. This group of leaders hold positions in several power clusters including business, finance, politics, and the arts. The superclass's global thinking helps to address global issues but requires informal coalitions of NGOs to fill the governance vacuum. The book argues that this trend will continue as the nation-state loses its stronghold on power and that society must accept this new reality. The tight relationship between corporate America and the Pentagon. The U.S. Defense Department and corporate America share a tight relationship, as evidenced by the list of corporate titans who led the Pentagon after World War II. With a commitment to remain fully prepared for war, U.S. defense spending is the largest public sector investment in history. As wars become increasingly costly, the defense industry consolidates, with about a dozen defense contractors worldwide accounting for the majority of international defense revenues. Military officers act as nation builders, creating a global armed forces superclass. The hope is to balance the power of markets and limited government with addressing growing inequities. The information superclass and conspiracy theories. The book talks about the powerful information superclass, from high-profile individuals to religious leaders, and how they are often the subject of conspiracy theories. Despite suspicions, the superclass does not rule by direct control or conspiracies. The book traces the origins of conspiracy theories to ancient times, and how they have evolved to include contemporary groups such as the Council on Foreign Relations or the Carlyle Group. However, the book suggests that these groups' influence is overblown. In contrast, the book highlights the Clinton Global Initiative, where powerful people make hard dollar commitments to specific projects. The book avoids superficial language and presents a straightforward, well-structured manner to explain complex ideas. The characteristics of the superclass. The superclass is a group of individuals who exhibit certain qualities. However, to join this elite group, one must meet 8 criteria. Firstly, one must be male. Also, one must be a baby boomer with a median age of 58 years. Additionally, having cultural roots in Europe is vital, as North America and Europe account for 50% of the superclass. Attending an elite university, like Stanford or Harvard, is also a requirement. Going into business or finance is necessary as it accounts for 63% of the superclass. Furthermore, over 98% of the superclass derives its status from relationships with corporations, governments, or even terrorist groups. Being affluent is a necessity as 60% are millionaires, and luck also plays a role. Psychologically, having qualities like obsessive-compulsive disorder, attention to detail, narcissism, and workaholic tendencies, in a goal-driven and success-oriented way, is essential for great leaders. Although the superclass is not conspiratorial and doesn't seek world domination, it stands for global governance and presents a challenge to provide world leadership and solve economic, social, and political problems.
In Superclass, the global power elite and the world they are making, David Rothkopf highlights the unparalleled power and influence held by a small number of global elites. He examines the factors contributing to their power, including personal attributes, institutional affiliations, and substantial wealth. Furthermore, he discusses the challenges faced by the superclass as it indirectly fills a void in global governance. Exploring the various sectors that the superclass dominates, including business, finance, politics, and military, Rothkopf unveils the potential for their leadership to address pressing economic, social, and political issues faced by our world today. As we grapple with various global challenges, the role of the superclass in influencing and shaping our world becomes ever more crucial.